we'll do that. Call it. 7 o'clock, we call the meeting to order. Mr. Pope?
Mr. Cruz,
Yeah, here.
Somewhere.
Mr. Rich,
Here.
Mr. Fink,
Here.
Mr. Farley. Here. Dr. Hutton,
Here.
Mr. Brazell,
Yeah.
Mayor Goodwin,
Yeah.
you have a quorum.
So we're gonna move the executive session to the end of the meeting per request. All you guys okay with that?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Joe, you okay?
Oh, certainly.
Okay. We'll have the invocation by Councilmember Fink, followed by the pledge of allegiance.
Heavenly Father, as we gather today to discuss the affairs of our city, we humbly ask for your wisdom and guidance upon our council members. May we be open to the needs of our community, consider all perspectives with fairness, and make decisions that benefit the greater good. We pray for unity and collaboration in our deliberations, and that we may always act with integrity and compassion. Amen. Amen. Join me in the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the
flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. So, under staff, under mayor's comments. Oh, he's over here. Kyle, why don't you stand up? Stand up. Uh-oh. Well, you standing up? So Kyle started to work here, for people who don't know, in the city in 2012 as a utilities tech under a guy named Kevin Whitman. And he spent most of his life in the private sector really working hard, and he had a chance to come to work for the city and say, wow, this is a good deal. But so he was promoted to utilities director after Kevin left in 2015. And which is good, because he knew the system from the private sector working on it and also being here as a utilities tech. And most of his work involves stuff that we don't normally see on a day-to-day basis, unless he's sending out a notice saying he's cutting your water off because he's got to do some work somewhere. He's usually pretty behind the scenes. Most of the time, he makes everybody else's life pretty good, except at nighttime when he's making a lot of noise because there's a main break, and I get a bunch of calls like, what's going on? So everybody else's life's pretty good. Kyle keeps the water flowing on the island and off the island in the other side of the water system. Kyle also spends a lot of time, I don't know where he finds it, he's shirking his duty somewhere, I guess, but he spends a lot of time for the Christmas, getting the city ready for Christmas with the lights and down Center Street, in the park, Santa stockings, Santa chairs, all kind of things. Make sure the letters to Santa gets in and out, back to Santa, so he can get back to the children to put them in this box. So he spends a lot of time that people don't usually see that he's working for the community. He also spends some time, a couple of times a year, cooking for the Ronald McDonald House, which is really a real deal. Those people enjoy they come in from the hospital in the evening times and they have a meal to eat. It's not a pizza or hamburgers or something like that. So it's, y'all cook what, ham and beans, and macaroni, and a regular meal. So that's a great thing, and it's a wonderful time to be there if you can be there when they do something like that. So he has been selflessly providing service for all of us for the last 12 years. And come out of semi-retirement. So now he's going to retire, he says. I don't believe it. I do not believe Kyle will retire. I believe he's going to find something else to do somewhere, and the next time I see him, he'll be working somewhere. But as he works selfishly for all of us, we were pretty selfish and we didn't get his plaque in time, but we gonna get you one. I promise. So Kyle's leaving us the first of the year. Safe travels wherever you go.
Thank you very much.
I know Kathy will keep you straight, I hope.
Certainly will.
You know, she got a full-time job,
Enjoy my
right?
time here.
Yeah, all right,
Thank you.
thanks. Carl would be glad I'm not calling him saying, hey, the lights in the park aren't on. But Phil, stand up, Phil. Phil will be your new person that has to keep your water on and off.
I'll be getting phone calls.
Yeah. So coming up, it's gonna be really, the next couple of weeks, gonna be, busy. So the 13th is, Santa in the Park for all the kids. The 14th is the parade. The 22nd is the community choir cantata at the Baptist Church. The 28th is the, lighting of the menorah in the park. And the 31st will be, New Year's Eve with flip-flops, but this year is gonna be a drone show, so I can't wait to see how that goes. My dog's gonna love it, I know. It won't be quite as noisy, so it's gonna be really busy coming up. No staff reports this evening. No approval of the minutes because we didn't get them right. We'll get them next month. So personal appearance, first up is Mr. Draper.
Everybody, my name's Eric Draper. This is my daughter Cannon.
Wait a second, I skipped one thing, I'm sorry. Just hang on a second, you stay right there. You don't have to go anywhere. I need a motion to approve the agenda
So moved.
as amended.
I wonder if we might amend it again. Could we consider taking 5324 out? That's the flooring for the public safety building. It came in 27,000 over budget, and speaking with Eric, he thought there may be an opportunity to rebid it and maybe get a lower price. Apparently, we put it out right at the holidays, and we only had 2 that responded. And if we put it out again, there's opportunity to save money, but it might not, doesn't guarantee it, but
I'll second that.
I agree.
Call the roll as amended.
Yeah, as amended, twice.
Mr. Brazell?
yeah.
Dr. Howard?
Yes.
Mr. Farley?
Yes.
Mr. Fink?
Yes.
Mr. Bruce?
Yes.
Mr. Rich? Yes. Mayor Goodwin?
Yeah.
Passes.
Now, sorry about that.
No, that's all right, thank you. My name's Eric Draper. This is my daughter Cannon. We're wanting to address you about speed limit signs.
Hello, I'm Cam Draper. I am 13 and I live on the washout. Thank you for the opportunity to speak to you today. I'm here today to ask you to please provide more speed limit signs on the island. This ongoing problem got worse over the summer and generally getting more dangerous with daylight savings. We know that our roads are DOT roads and we need your leadership to see through this action for the safety of the people on Folly Beach. I have been run off the road, yelled at, and generally in fear for my life. Does anybody else see this problem on Folly? I know you're not supporting the speeders, so could you please support me?
And then a couple of things. Do y'all think we have a speeding problem on Folly Beach? If anybody doesn't, all right, since we're all in agreement, let's do something about it. I know you guys have gotten a couple extra signs, the one on East Ashley with the radar detector. We appreciate that. That's a step in the right direction. Mr. Mayor, you had told me to call Josh Johnson at the DOT, the engineer, and I did, and a couple dozen of us did. I'm sure he's tired of hearing from us. He did tell me that the only way it would happen is if you guys do something about it, reach out for a formal request. I'm sure they have a different story, but that's what I've been told. And we have more dead-end street signs than we do speed limit signs. Everybody knows the road's coming to an end, there's no more pavement. But not everybody knows the speed limit, even though there's some signs out there that say it. One of them has in front of Burt's, or Woody's, actually has a Christmas sign, light 2 feet in front of it, so at night it kind of blocks it out. The big new one out on Oak Island says 35 miles per hour island wide, 25 miles per hour island wide. That's on Oak Island. Oak Island has a 35 mile per hour speed on Folly Road. So unfortunately, while it's helpful, it is a little bit inaccurate. No parking between here and the corner. We have more than 35 times the number of speed limit signs just for that. I'm not saying litter the island up with speed limit signs, but we do need them. Everybody knows speeding's a problem. One thing that everybody that's ever been elected here and everybody you defeated, the one thing y'all all agreed on was safety for Folly Beach, for everyone, for the residents, for the visitors, for our pets. Mr. Mayor, I commend you for taking on the entire state legislature when it came to plastic bags. I thought that showed courage and good leadership. And I don't mean to poo-poo on that, but that's sort of a semi-benign sort of a thing compared to the life of a human being or pets. I know you love your dogs. And we all feel the same way. And so if we're willing to take on the State House for, I don't want to poo-poo on it, but for plastic bags, we can take on the DOT for a handful of speed limit signs. What's the worst that can happen? I mean, other than, well, nothing. It might be a little unsightly because we have a couple extra signs. And we don't mean to sound terse or be inappropriate or harsh, but this is why you're here, is for us to petition you for your help. Please help us. Please call the DOT. Please say we'd like a handful of signs. We're not talking about speed humps, we're not talking about speed limit signs. We're simply talking about alerting people to the speed. I know every single one of us at some point or another has been speeding somewhere off of Folly Beach and looked up and saw the speed limit sign and looked down and gone, oh gosh, I'm speeding. I'm gonna slow down. Most people abide by the law. When you guys outlawed alcohol on the beach, it was a great thing. We've seen huge changes. Do people still drink? Sure. But we don't have keg parties. We don't have disco dances with the wickety going on the beach. We don't have riots, and we don't have anybody hurting our police because they're drunk on the beach like that in the huge parties. It will help. It can't hurt. The DOT is a big organization. All they're gonna see me is a thorn in their side. You guys, I know, can get it done better than I can. Please help us.
I'll say one thing. The last new signs you saw put up with the radar, signs, it took about 2.5 years to get that approved. Not saying that we won't go out and try to get more signs. I'm just saying it won't be tomorrow, just so you understand. But the thorn in their side is the one that gets the most attention, believe it or not.
Squeaky wheel.
You guys get more attention punching the button there than we do.
But they've told me I need y'all.
I know. As I said, we can apply for more signs, that's not a problem, but we gotta get them approved through the system. No problem.
When can we apply for more signs? Is there a date we can put to that, a goal to work towards?
When Eric gets back, we'll see what we can do. Eric's out on a, learning a curve thing right now, so we'll have to get back, I'll talk to him and see what we can do. Pick out some signs, pick out some spots. Between him and Andrew, who is sick, so he's not here tonight, so we'll get up with him.
You guys have any questions for myself or my daughter?
Great job.
Thank you.
Thanks for the opportunity.
Chastity, Benjamin?
Good evening, everyone. I am with the Sharon Kopesi, is the organ and tissue recovery services for the state of South Carolina. This will be our 20th annual Race for Life. We did host our 18th annual and 19th annual here on Folly Beach. And so we're asking for permission again to have our Race for Life here.
Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
I know Andrew's not here, but I don't think we had any problems at all that I know of.
Is this not do we not put them on your list?
No.
No,
Okay,
they're not on the,
okay.
Trustee, I'd like to
She
say,
might decide to go somewhere else next year.
I got you, okay.
I'd like to say what you submitted was wonderful, as far as the risk management, the process, the protocols, exemplary.
Okay, very good. I'll give props to my race director, Chris.
Well done.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Mr. Pope?
Mr. Bruce?
Yes.
Dr. Houghton?
Yes.
Mr. Farley?
Yes.
Mr. Fink?
Yes.
Mr. Brazil?
Yeah.
Mr. Rich?
Yes.
Mayor Goodwin?
Yeah.
Passes.
Thank y'all so much.
Thank you.
Happy holidays.
Thank you. Same to you.
Oh, there she is. I was looking around for Kelly, who's hot down there.
I know. Tiny like that. So Kelly Travers, here on behalf of the Folly Association of Business. As the mayor spoke about, we have a very busy few months in front of us with the drone show, Polar Plunge, Taste of Folly, and Sea and Sand. So we've got quite the lineup, but I am here specifically for Taste and can answer any other questions that you guys have. So right now, Taste is scheduled for January 18th. Typical street closure, we don't really plan on changing it too much. We would of course block Center Street right around 6:30 in the morning for us to get everything set up. Seal the event by 9, open the gates by 10, end the music by 3:45, start collapsing the event at 4, close the music down, have the streets clean by 5:15. We've been really good with that, spoke with Chief about kind of changing the stage collapsing. We're gonna collapse the Huron stage first in our efforts to get more traffic moving, and then collapse the Ashley stage, so we'll be changing that, but that's really the only change. Other than that, we're gonna be one band short because we're gonna do a bunch of competitions, hot dog eating, oyster shucking, all that kind of fun stuff that comes with Taste of Father. So, yeah, and then we're gonna of course have our kids zones, alcohol free of course, and the one pot showdown in the parking lot, by Woody's. So that's our plan. Any questions or concerns?
Then a motion to approve?
Second. I do have one question.
Yes.
A relaxed open container law. What is that, and,
What does that mean?
well, what does it mean, and I'm not really clear I feel comfortable with that, a relaxed open container law.
So what we've been doing is that we do allow alcohol on the street during that time within the sealed perimeter. No bottles, no glass, anything like that. Everything has to be like in a plastic disposable cup. But we don't allow anybody, obviously, to leave or enter with any beverages. So it's all within the perimeter of the event.
Same thing we've been doing.
You know, I'm just,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, always a good question.
Any other questions? Mr. Pope?
Mr. Brazil?
Yes.
Dr. Houghton?
Yes.
Mr. Farley?
Yes.
Mr. Fink?
Yes.
Mr. Bruce?
Yes.
Mr. Rich is recusing. Mayor Goodwin?
Yeah.
Passes.
Thank you.
Okay, so I have one more thing on the thing, but I don't have who's requesting the waiver.
Sherry Burlingham?
You want to give us your name and address? And
Yeah, Sherry.
You-
Come on up with us, Sherry.
All right. You're not doing it. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Sherry Burlingham. I live here on Folly. I'm at 97 West Second Street, right down off of, around the corner. Been here for 20 years. I've been to the parade every year. What we're asking is a waiver just for the day of the parade for the James Island Cowboys to be able to come to Folly Beach and ride their horses, and at the end of their parade entrance, then they will trailer the horses and leave the island. They won't be hanging around for pictures or kids petting the horses or anything like that. This is Desmond, he's one of the guys, and this is Dexter. And they're the James Island Cowboys. And the reason I got involved is 2 of my grandchildren actually went to their summer camp one year. And they loved the Cowboys, they loved the horses, they were 6 and 7 years old, and they were riding their horses that will be in the parade. So they're very gentle horses. Grandkids asked last year why the horses weren't in the parade, and I said I really didn't know what happened, why they weren't, because they had been in the year before. So I checked into it, and I found out that they hadn't gotten the application in time and some other issues. So I contacted Desmond and I asked him if he wanted to be in the parade, and he said, absolutely. So I told him I would find out what we needed to do, and I would get the application and help get the process started. So I contacted Heather and Wes, and they told me that there were some things that they wanted to discuss about it, so there wouldn't be any problems. So I met with Wes and some of the other Folly Beach Public Service guys, and their two concerns were the waste pickup and the leaving right after they were done in the parade. So what I did is I called the city of Charleston and found out what they did for waste cleanup with their mounted police and their carriage companies. And they use a company called Duty Calls. And they clean up after the horses, and then they have a spray that neutralizes it and sanitizes the area. So I called Kyle at Duty Calls, and he's very nice, and he said he would be happy to provide his services and follow the horses in his truck and do any cleanup necessary so that there wouldn't be a problem at all. We also have manure bags for the horses that they can wear during the parade. And I think those were the only two things that were a problem with the Cowboys coming in, and I think we addressed both of those. The one thing I would like to bring up is that this is a community parade. Desmond was born and raised on James Island. I think he's generational. Yeah, and Dexter too, yeah.
I'm uncle after that.
There you go. So.
For us, he's second.
So they've been here forever. They're a big part of our community. You'll see them riding up and down Folly Road. They ride their horses downtown. They've been in a number of parades. I think you mentioned Hollywood and Walterboro and Sumter. They've been in a number of parades with these same horses, and there's never been a problem. We've never had an issue with any of the horses.
We did a nice festival up in Lane, South Carolina.
Oh, okay, great, yeah. So they've been around and they know what they're doing with parades, and I really don't think there'll be an issue. And I know that I put a thing out on I Love Folly Beach to get some community support, which I think we have a great little crowd here tonight for that. And just on that one site, we have over 900 people that responded that liked or loved the idea that the Cowboys would be back in, and 150 people shared that on their website, on their Facebook page. So the guys have a lot of community support. They've done a lot for the community. They go to schools. They've been to the First Friday at James Island, and they have a lot of experience with the horses in public, so I really don't think it'd be a problem. So we'd like to see the one-day waiver for them to come in the parade.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any questions? Mr. Pope.
Mr. Fink?
Yes.
Mr. Brazell?
Yes.
Mr. Rich?
Yes.
Mr. Crooms?
Yes.
Dr. Hooker?
Yes.
Mr. Farley?
Yes.
Mayor Goodwin?
I tell you what, we gonna ride double in the parade.
Now listen, what kind of horses do you have?
Pardon me?
I'm asking them, what kind of horses do you have?
Quarter horses.
Do you? Well, unfortunately, when I moved to Folly Beach, I owned 3 quarter-horse mares and a mule, but they wouldn't let me bring them. That's how long that ordinance has been in effect. That's 98, and it was in effect way before that.
Yeah, yeah, but we're not asking for them to live here, just
I know.
for the couple hours, you know, make the kids happy.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We can ride double the time.
We're gonna sit right here with you.
Okay.
Thank you, guys.
Yep. It's amazing how that works, isn't it?
Into the parade though, there's a sanitizing truck coming along the 405. Where they are.
You knew that. Okay. Citizen comments? We don't want to hear from
Oh, God. Haven't you already got what you wanted?
you. We know what you're going to say. We don't need to hear it.
Say ditto, Mayor.
My name is Richard Deck. I live at 1613 Folly Creek Way. And our I am a resident of Palmetto Point. Our president was here, had to leave. But we just want to thank you for for implementing the study of the traffic situation on Folly Road, and hopefully when it gets implemented, Folly Road will be safer for everybody. Thank you so much.
Any other comments? Okay.
Imagine if we had done that earlier.
Oh, excuse me, I didn't see you. I'm sorry.
I didn't know I was gonna say anything, but I just.
Okay.
My name is Tom Nothan, I live at Lamb Farm, and I've been working on this, traffic thing for a long time. In fact, I think it was back around almost 4 years ago, when I first talked to you about it. And you gave us the things that you were concerned about, and, one of which was funding. The other one was, will this slow down people leaving, the area? And, so you basically sent me out to do some homework, and I did. And in the meantime, I ran into Richard. He lives across the street from us, and he had the similar problems. So together, we kind of worked this and done our best. And like he said, we want to thank you for your perseverance in this, because it hasn't been going on for a while. So, but we're happy where we're going now, and you don't see it on the sign there right now. But I think this is going to be a good thing.
I just wish you'd got a better partner, that's all. I just wish you'd got a better partner.
Well, you know, you gotta live with what you got. No, he's a great guy. Thank you very much.
Anybody else? Okay. Commission board report, Tina, you're up. For the rest of the night, you gonna drag, who's got the bed tonight? But you need something about
Yeah,
us?
mine is.
Here.
Thank you. Alrighty. So I'm here to talk today about 3 ordinances that went before the planning commission. First one is the tree ordinance, and I just wanna walk through the history real quick because it's been a while since it was before you. This was in May, it was sent to the planning commission, who then asked to, it was as part of the, all the proposed ordinances that I had earlier in the year. This one they hung on to and asked to be sent back again to workshop. And so we had a work session like this just about the tree ordinance. And then, so this is the recommendations that came from that. The first one, and I have motions if anybody wants to make these amendments to the, you're on page 18 is the ordinances themselves. So the first was to remove palm trees from the protected tree list. And then the second one, the ordinance that I had proposed would allow 2-family homes to remove a tree in the footprint of the home, just like single-family homes can. This would also add commercial lots to that, to allow commercial lots to remove a tree in the footprint of a structure. And then the third was to increase the fee for removing a tree without a permit. $1,000 was thrown around, $2,000 was thrown around. It's currently $500. Then the next ordinance, 23, was to require replanting native species when the marsh buffer is disturbed. And so the only recommendation that Planning Commission had was to add the word any before the disturbance, to clarify that it applies to both legal and illegal vegetation removal. And then ordinance 24 would prohibit the rental of accessory uses separately from the associated primary use. And this one, the commission voted unanimously to recommend approval. They said the second sentence was redundant because it already, since what we're saying is an accessory use has to be rented with a primary use, and the primary use is already limited to 2 days. So that was the recommendation, but to approve it with that change. Okay.
so we're up to, don't go away. You might as well come on back up. We're up to ordinance 007-24, ordinance amending the standards of chapter 16601. Tree protection and Folly Beach zoning and development ordinance by amending 166.01 through 03 C2 to allow removal of protected trees in certain circumstances, two-family zoning district. Now, this is second reading. Do you have a motion for approval?
First reading.
It's a first.
Oh, excuse me. I was under old business.
Because it was previously remanded.
Okay, this is first reading. That's right, it went to plan, all three of these. Sorry about that. This is the first reading, so do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All right. Where did you want to make your amendment?
These were the three that matched them in their recommendations, 1, 2, and 3. And that's
Do I
the
have a-
language if you choose to do that.
Yeah, so in 16602,
It's the table.
yeah.
So the table's not printed out.
Table we don't have a table. But anyway, so here's your proposal to remove palm tree, I can't believe that, from protected tree list. And it's just people screaming about the palm trees or like people were cutting them.
So it doesn't say we have to do it.
Move to amend table 166.02 to remove palm trees from list of protected trees. The second is to allow commercial lots to remove trees in the footprint of a proposed structure. In other words, to add section 166.01 through 03C4 to read removal on commercial lots. A healthy protected tree is located within the footprint of a proposed structure or access thereto, provided the arrangement of such features is the least impactful to protect trees and the landowner complies with all mitigation standards. And the third one is to increase the fee for removal of tree without a permit. Move to amend section 16601-05 to increase the fee for removal of a tree without a permit to blank. So, do I have a motion for the first two, because we gotta talk about the money on the second one, to amend the ordinance as suggested? Do I need to read them again? Remove palm trees from the protected tree list, to amend the table, to allow commercial lots to remove trees in the footprint of a proposed structure like you would, two-family homes.
The second one I'm fine with. I'm not fine with removing palm trees from the protected tree list.
Okay, we'll do one at a time then. Do I have a motion to add for the first amendment to remove palm trees from the protected palm tree list, table 166.02? Do you have a motion? No, so that one didn't get done. Second, to allow commercial lots to remove trees in the footprint of a proposed structure.
So,
Second.
motion for
And a motion and a second. You in a quick hurry there. Any comments, questions about that?
I do have one. Where do pine trees fit in all this?
They're
Don't.
not protected, so
They're
they
not
can be
protected,
removed
okay.
for any reason, but if they're over 12 inches, they have to be mitigated.
And what about sago palms? Whatever happened with those?
I don't think
Say
they're
that
on
they're
the
not
list.
protected.
They're not protected at all, so.
They're landscape
They're-
That's
ornamental.
fine. There was, at one time, they were entertaining, putting that on the list.
Yeah, nope, they're not covered.
So it's removal of trees from the commercial lots, does that get reviewed by staff when they submit the plans to say they can work around it or can't work around it?
Correct.
Okay, and you make that determination, so it's not just they say they can't work around it.
Right, if we see something that we'll say, well, why couldn't you do this, why couldn't you do this, and ask for an
Okay.
explanation.
Any other comments, questions?
So the First Amendment.
First Amendment's not there. The First
Sorry,
Amendment
the
is
sec-
just to
yeah,
allow.
The Second Amendment,
Just the first one.
Mr. Frizell,
Yeah.
Dr. Holmes,
Yes.
Mr. Farley.
Yes.
Mr. Fee,
Yes.
Mr. Proops.
Yes.
Mr. Rich,
Yes.
Mayor Goodwin,
Yeah,
that amendment passes.
yeah. Okay, so the third amendment suggested would be to increase the fee for removal of a tree without a permit. I go in and cut down some trees that I didn't ask about. To amend section 166.01 through 05 to increase the fee for removal of a tree permit without, of a tree without a permit to what is it now?
It's 500 now.
Just in my thumb, on my thumb. So we're gonna move that from five, have a motion to approve?
Motion
Is it
approved.
Are we talking about the fee in lieu of mitigation or something else?
Not the fee in lieu of mitigation, no.
This,
They get caught without a permit.
this is
You're
just, you
called
get a
without
ticket.
permit.
The fine? Well, it can't be more than 500,
Okay.
So we can't change it.
unfortunately.
Well, that sucks.
I've said this repeatedly. We can certainly talk about other ways to,
We'll have to talk to you about a different way, Joe. Get back with Joe.
So it stays.
Yeah, so that
So-
was, the two attorneys will figure that out and come back. Well, don't go away yet. Don't go away mad.
Well, I'd certainly be in favor of the most punitive for cutting down trees without permit.
Well, they gotta come back to us what
I
that
think,
is.
well,
It's
I
500
encourage
now.
you
Figured that out.
to really figure it out, because, I mean, there's been 100-year-old trees that have been cut down, and people said, okay, well, I'll just pay the $500, no problem. Here's 2,000, we whacked 4 trees, and it's a terrible loss, and we need to just quit having people play that game.
So we're back to ordinance 007-24 as amended.
Mr. Grooves?
Yes.
Mr. Rich?
Yes.
Dr. Hope?
Yes.
Mr. Gazelle?
Yeah.
Mr. Farley?
Yes.
Mr. Fink?
Yes.
Mayor Goodwin?
Yeah.
Passes first as amended.
Now, 23-24, first reading also would be ordinance, Folly Beach Code of Ordinance, section 166.04 through 03, marsh buffers to require replanting with native species when marsh buffer is disturbed. Have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Have a second?
Second.
And you want to change, you just want to take out a word somewhere.
Add the word any before disturbance.
Where do you want to do that?
1660403, it would say any disturbance instead of just disturbance.
So any disturbance to the marsh buffer, basically.
Any disturbance.
All the way down to section C
C.
2.
Yeah.
How does that quantify? I mean,
The number of trees removed, we've, it gets anything. We get reports when trees are removed. The last time I had it, we pulled it up pulled up Google, Earth, Google Maps, and took a picture and counted them and gave it to the homeowner and said, if you can dispute this, show me something else. This is what we're gonna rely on.
Or when they walk out there and they count the number of stumps that's still sitting there.
Right, that too.
Um,
Investigation.
So do I have a motion to accept the amendment?
Motion to approve.
No, a second?
Second.
Any discussion about the amendment? So,
Dr. Hope?
Yes.
Mr. Farley?
Yes.
Mr. Fink?
Yes.
Mr. Grooves?
Yes.
Mr. Rich?
Yes.
Mr. Gazelle?
Yes.
Mayor Goodwin?
yeah.
Good, passes.
So back to 23-24 as amended. Yeah.
Mr. Rich?
Yes.
Mr. Gazelle?
Yes.
Dr. Hope?
Yes.
Mr. Grooves?
Yes.
Mr. Farley?
Yes.
Mr. Fink?
Yes.
Mayor Goodwin?
Yeah.
Passes first as amended.
So 24-24, I think this is probably easy enough to understand which one this is. You just want to take out the last part of the sentence, but anyway. 24-24, an ordinance amending the Folly Beach Code of Ordinances, section 164.04-02, general development and operational standards by prohibiting the rental of accessory uses separately from the associated primary use. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Have a second?
Second.
So they just want to go back to the last 5 words and strike them.
We're gonna strike that
2 days.
entire second sentence.
Entire second sentence.
And that's because we have, well,
Because we
we already have that in the other,
Regulate
primary's gotta be
short
2
term.
days, yeah.
So the second sentence?
Yeah.
Okay.
And number 8, do I have a motion to approve, do I have a motion to remove that sentence?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any questions, comments? Okay,
Mr. Bruce, on the amendment.
on the amendment.
Mr. Bruce,
Yes.
Mr. Farley,
Yes.
Mr. Brazell,
Yeah.
Mr. Rich,
Yes.
Mr. Fink,
Yes.
Dr. Houghton,
Yes.
Mayor Goodwin,
Yeah.
amendment passes.
Work on that fine.
Back to the ordinance.
Yeah, back to the ordinance 24-24,
As amended.
as amended.
Mr. Farley.
Yes.
Mr. Bruce.
Yes.
Mr. Brazell,
Yeah.
Mr. Fink,
Yes.
Mr. Rich,
Yes.
Dr. Houghton,
Yes.
Mayor Goodwin. Passes first as amended.
So, 26-24, this is the second reading for this one. Ordinance amending section 151.45 through 151.49 of the Folly Beach Code of Ordinances, protection of loggerhead sea turtles by defining nighttime hours and requiring beachfront lighting to be turned off during nighttime hours between May the 1st and October the 31st. Have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Have a second?
Second.
And this changes the nighttime hours from sunset to sunrise. Mr. Pope? Well, anybody got any comments or questions? Mr. Pope?
Mr. Brazell,
Yeah.
Dr. Houghton.
Yes.
Mr. Farley.
Yes.
Mr. Fink,
Yes.
Mr. Bruce,
Yes.
Mr. Rich,
Yes.
Mayor Goodwin.
Yeah.
Passes second.
Second reading for ordinance 27-24, ordinance amending the Folly Beach Code of Ordinances by amending chapter 51, section 51.002, application for service to codify a deposit fee for new water accounts. Have a motion to approve? Do I have a second?
Second.
Any questions or comments? You're up.
Mr. Rich,
Yes.
Mr. Bruce,
Yes.
Mr. Fink,
Yes.
Mr. Farley,
Yes.
Dr. Houghton,
Yes.
Mr. Brazell,
Yeah.
Mayor Goodwin.
Yes.
Passes second.
Ordinance 28-24, second reading. Ordinance amending the Folly Beach Code of Ordinances, Chapter 131 and Section 131.33, exceptions by codifying an exemption allowing public works projects contracted for or by a government agency to occur 24 hours daily. Do I have a motion to approve? Any discussion? Mr. Pope?
Dr. Houghton,
Yes.
Mr. Rich,
Yes.
Brazell,
Yeah.
Mr. Farley.
Yes.
Mr. Fink,
Yes.
Mr. Bruce,
Yes.
Mayor Goodwin.
Yep.
Passes second.
Okay. Did we send this one off too, or is this actually the second reading? So this is the second reading for this ordinance, 030-24. An ordinance amending the Folly Beach Code of Ordinances, Chapter 117, short-term rentals by separately defining medical hardship investment rental licenses, establishing forms for proof to demonstrate compliance with the minimum night rental requirement, expanding the eligibility for inheritance-based ISTR licenses, allowing licensed homes to be relocated without losing eligibility for a rental license, requiring a final certificate of occupancy before issuing a license, making a failure to renew a rental license a violation eligible for a strike against the license rather than a revocation, and amending the information required to apply for rental registration permit. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. We got all in motions?
I think so. Would you like to go through them one by one?
Yeah. It'd be nice. I think we probably can't now.
Yeah. Wes, do you have the ability to pull these back up?
Yeah.
All right. That's the first one. So this motion would be to amend section 117.01 B, C3 to add the language in blue. The license was issued after May 1st of the previous license year, 4A. And the effect of that motion would be to waive the minimum nights requirement for people licensed for a partial year prior to the first renewal.
Do I have a motion to amend as presented?
Motion to amend.
Second.
Do you have a second? You have a second? Okay. Any questions or comments about that? I think Mr. Pope had beat them all to death pretty good, so.
Yep.
Mr. Pope?
Mr. Rich?
Yes.
Mr. Grooms?
Yes.
Mr. Fink?
Yes.
Mr. Farley?
Yes.
Dr. Houghton?
Yes.
Mr. Brazil?
Yes.
Mayor Goodwin?
Yeah.
That amendment passes.
Okay. Only got 47 more to go.
So, keep going, Wes. Okay, so. This would be a motion to amend section 117.02D5 to add the blue language with a slight change, so it would now read, medical hardship investment short-term rental licenses terminate on the last day of the current business license year or after 9 days, whichever is later, upon death.
Do I have a motion to amend?
So moved. Second.
Any questions or comments? Whenever you're ready, no hurry.
Mr. Farley?
Yes.
Dr. Houghton?
Yes.
Mr. Brazil?
Yes.
Steve?
Yes.
Mr. Grooms?
Yes.
Mr. Rich?
Yes.
Mayor Goodwin?
Yeah.
That amendment passes. This would be a motion to amend section 117.031A to read, a license issued for the rental of an existing dwelling unit may be renewed for the rental of a replacement dwelling unit proposed for or under construction on the same site. The replacement dwelling unit must be under the same ownership, contain the same or fewer heating square feet, and contain the same number or fewer bedrooms as the original structure. The license has if, no, we'll add if, and if the license has been maintained in good standing and if necessarily timely renewed during the entire period of construction, beginning with the demolition and lasting through the issuance of a final certificate of occupancy.
So moved. Motion to approve.
Any questions or comments? Okay.
Mr. Brazil?
Yeah.
Dr. Houghton?
Yes.
Mr. Farley?
Yes.
Mr. Fink?
Yes.
Mr. Grooms?
Yes.
Mr. Rich?
Yes.
Mayor Goodwin?
Yes.
That amendment passes.
This one, I'd like to make a motion to approve option 2.
Second.
So option 2 would strike the proposed language in section 117.03A1B. So it would remove B1 and 2 from the ordinance, which would prohibit the licensing. The effect would be to prohibit licensing of relocated units.
Any discussion? Mr. Pope?
Mr. Brazil?
Yeah.
Dr. Houghton?
No.
Mr. Farley?
Yes.
Mr. Fink?
Yes.
Mr. Grooves?
No.
Mr. Rich?
Yes.
Mayor Goodwin?
Yes.
So the effect of that amendment passing is to remove relocation. So
Right.
that passed.
No, you're getting tired of reading.
So this motion would amend section 117.03B1, A, B, and C. A would read, renewal of a previously issued rental
Back
registration.
from Wes, I'm sorry, hold on, let's get the,
Oh, sorry.
I
yeah,
think
you're
you
right.
missed one, but. yeah,
There you go.
there.
So the motion would be to amend 117.03B1, A, B, and C. A would read, renewal of a previously issued rental registration permit. A complete application to renew previously issued rental registration permits along with all documentation required by this chapter submitted to prior, shall be submitted prior to June 1st of each year. Failure to timely submit a complete application by June 1 shall result in a violation and strike pursuant to section 117.03E. However, applicant shall have a grace period of 10 business days after June 1st to submit a complete application. Failure to submit a rental registration application within 10 business days after June 1st shall result in revocation of the license. B, submittal of a new rental registration permit application. An application for a new rental registration permit along with all of the documentation required by this chapter must be submitted within 30 days of the issuance of a new short-term rental business license. There is no grace period for new rental registration submittals. Failure to submit a rental registration application within 30 days after the issuance of a new short-term rental license shall result in the revocation of the license. C, review and correction of rental registration permit applications. Upon review, the city shall notify applicants of facial and obvious deficiencies in the application submitted. Failure to submit a complete and accurate next word. License or make necessary corrections to the application within 10 business days of notifications of deficiencies shall result in denial or revocation of the license. Inaccuracies, mistakes, or misrepresentations, whether intentional or not, in a rental registration application or business license application discovered by the license official after acceptance of a rental registration permit shall result in revocation of the license.
Have a motion to approve?
Can I have a point of clarification? You read it correctly, but the subsection C, I'm sorry, subsection B says 30 business days.
Oh, yeah.
But you read it, that business should not be
Yeah.
there. It should be 30 days, which is actually how you read it.
Okay.
Wow,
Thank you.
got it right, or got it wrong.
Do I have a second? Any discussion? Okay, you don't have to read it again.
All right. Mr. Fink?
Yes.
Mr. Farley?
Yes.
Dr. Houghton?
Yes.
Mr. Grooves?
Yes.
Mr. Rich?
Yes.
Mr. Brazil?
Yes.
Mayor Goodwin?
Yeah.
That motion passed. This motion would amend 117.03D1 L and M. L would be removed completely, and M would read failure to submit an accurate and complete annual rental registration permit renewal application along with all documentation required by this chapter on or before June 1st. Failure to submit an accurate and complete annual rental registration permit renewal application within 10 business days after June 1st shall result in revocation of the license. Inaccuracies, mistakes, or misrepresentations, whether intentional or not, in a rental registration application or rental license application discovered by the license official after acceptance of the rental registration permit shall result in revocation of the license.
Have a motion to approve, to amend?
I do have a
I gotta
question.
get a motion first.
Oh, I'm sorry, I said motion to approve.
Oh, excuse me, all right. Second.
You got a second? I do have a question. It says subject to a $500 ticket, that is the max ticket allowed, is that the case in this too?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Okay, all right, I was just making sure that was the maximum for.
Yes.
Thanks to home rule, that's a back.
That's right.
Tongue in cheek. Any questions or comments? Mr. Pope?
Mr. Rich?
Yes.
Mr. Bruce?
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Farley?
Yes.
Dr. Houghton?
Yes.
Mr. Zell?
Yes.
Mayor Goodwin?
Yes.
That amendment passes. Only one more. And so this would be
Mercy, mercy.
a motion to add a new section establishing an effective date for changes to rental registrations. So we would basically, this doesn't have a number yet, but we will be adding a new section, effective date. And this ordinance shall be effective upon its adoption by council with the following retroactive application. All licensees whose licenses were subject to revocation prior to the adoption of this ordinance for submitting a late rental registration application or failing to submit a rental registration application are to be charged with a violation. A strike will also be assessed against the license. Licensees who fail to submit a rental registration application shall submit a rental registration application and all required documents within 30 days of notice of the violation. Failure to submit the rental registration application with all required documents within 30 days after notice will result in revocation or denial of the license.
Have a motion to approve the motion?
So moved. Second.
Any,
Motion to approve, motion.
yeah, motion to amend, whatever you wanna say.
Just, the way it reads, application shall must.
Yeah, one of those.
Can we change that
That's right.
to something that makes
I'll
more sense?
must,
Shall must, that's
shall must.
oh.
I'm gonna strike must, if that's okay.
Strike must, that sounds good.
Okay. Any other questions or comments
Effective date, you said?
Upon adoption.
tonight?
Okay. Mr. Brazell?
Yes.
Dr. Houghton?
Yes.
Mr. Farley?
Yes.
Mr. Fink?
Yes.
Mr. Bruce?
Yes.
Mr. Rich?
Yes.
Mayor Goodwin?
Yeah.
That amendment passes.
So, back to ordinance 30-24 as amended. Where Mr. Pope gets his stuff.
Mr. Farley?
Yes.
Mr. Bruce?
Yes.
Mr. Fink?
Yes.
Mr. Brazell?
Yeah.
Mr. Rich?
Yes.
Dr. Houghton?
Yes.
Mayor Goodwin?
Yes.
Passes second, as amended.
2.5 years later. So we're up to resolution 50-24, resolution following each city council authorizing the administration to sign a fleet maintenance agreement with James Island Service Public Service District. James Island Service Public Service District. It should be just like James Island Public Service District. Have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Have a second?
Second.
Is there any appetite by that new administration there to take care of the storage of our trucks?
Eric has
He's
talked to
working on
them, but no final agreement.
Anybody else?
Dr. Houghton?
Yes.
Mr. Rich?
No.
Mr. Bruce?
Yes.
Mr. Fink?
Yes.
Mr. Farley?
Yes.
Mr. Brazell?
Yeah.
Mayor Goodwin?
Yeah.
passes.
Resolution 51-24, resolution by Folly Beach City Council awarding RFP 09-24 Folly Beach Second Street East pedestrian multi-use path construction to True Luck Roadway Services in the amount of $447,542. Have a motion to approve?
So move.
Have a second?
Second.
Any questions or comments? Okay.
Mr. Grooves?
Yes.
Mr. Bizzell?
Yeah.
Mr. Fink? Yes. Dr. Hope?
Yes.
Mr. Rich? Mr. Farley?
Yes.
Mayor Goodwin?
Yeah.
Passes.
Resolution 52-24, excuse me, resolution by Folly Beach City Council awarding RFP 10-24. Folly Beach Public Safety Department interior painting of the second floor to Paint Applications LLC, the amount of $18,950. Have a motion to approve? Have a second?
Second.
Any comments or questions?
Yeah, and this is just, maybe it's just me, and Jimmy might feel the same way, it just seems like we dump a lot of money into the upkeep of that building. And there's really, I mean, there's not much you can do about it to a degree, but does it need to be painted? I mean, I don't know, it just seems, I mean, we're doing the important stuff that we have to do to, keep the roof on the water out. Are we covering up something, or does it have to be painted this often? Over the years, we've just, and I remember a lot more, we've done a lot of money in this building, not that building. Is there ever gonna be a stop point?
That roof building, probably not.
No, great, okay. Just, I don't know, just do money for bad, it seems like.
Any other comments, questions?
Mr. Rich?
No.
Mr. Grooves?
Yes.
Mr. Fink?
Yes.
Mr. Farley?
Yes.
Dr. Hope?
No.
Mr. Bizzell?
Yeah.
Mayor Goodwin?
Yes.
That passes.
Yeah.
Okay, resolution 54-24, resolution by Folly Beach City Council awarding construction contract for the East Arctic Dune Infiltration Project at the 10th Street Beach access to IPW Construction Group in the amount of $299,528.08. Have a motion to approve?
So move.
Second.
That is 10th East, correct?
10th East. We'll be the first in the state of South Carolina to do this. There's a lot of, these have been used in North Carolina successfully to help mitigate cooling problems. And hopefully, if this one works as good as we think it's gonna work, we'll move to the west side and catch a couple of those spots too, All right, Mr. Pope?
Mr. Fink?
Yes.
Dr. Hope?
Yes.
Mr. Rich?
Yes.
Mr. Bizzell?
Yeah.
Mr. Farley?
Yes.
Mr. Grooves?
Yes.
Mayor Goodwin?
Yes.
That resolution passes.
I almost hate to read the next one because it doesn't involve any money.
Motion approved.
Resolution 55-24, resolution by Folly Beach City Council establishing a target zero policy to work towards zero traffic deaths and severe injuries. We have a motion to approve. We need a second.
Second.
Any questions or comments?
Mr. Bizzell?
Yes.
Dr. Hope?
Yes.
Mr. Farley?
Yes.
Mr. Fink?
Yes.
Mr. Grooves?
Yes.
Mr. Rich?
Yes.
Mayor Goodwin?
Yeah.
Passes.
So, Mr. Grooves, would you like to start the citizen comment?
Sure, I've just
Council
remind
comments.
everybody, the American Red Cross doing the blood drive Thursday, December 19th at the Tides, 9 A to 3 P, sign up. And one last thing here as we celebrate this holiday season, may our hearts be filled with kindness, our homes with laughter, and our lives filled with the spirit of Christmas.
You just reminded me of something I meant to do earlier. So, there's two good things that being the mayor gets to do. One, you can find the Citizen of the Year, and two, what was the second word? What was two? I don't remember what two was. But anyway, so yeah, Grand Marshal for the Parade. But this year, Dave Miller is the Citizen of the Year. You reminded me with the blood drive.
Perfect.
He does a lot of work behind the scenes. He's kind of like Kyle was. He does a lot of work behind the scenes. Nobody sees him except the turtle people and the people donating blood and making sure the Sandsburg gets put out on time and Civic Club. He does a lot for this community and has been for years. So, see Dave, tell him congratulations. All right, Mr. Freeman.
Just to piggyback on Dave and the blood drive, he was challenged by the Greater Red Cross in the area for us to do enough blood donations to just do 1 day of the blood requirements for the Greater Charleston area. That's 100 units. If you go to redcrossblood.org and you can source the source code Folly, you can still sign up for that blood drive. And I'd really encourage you to do that as well. And a blessed holiday season and Merry Christmas and be safe.
Happy holidays.
I'd just like to make an announcement. Buy your calendars, buy your calendars. You can buy them at City Hall, you can buy them at the library, and you can buy them at, online. follycivic.org, go to shop and knock your socks off. Secondly, I would also like to echo happy holidays. Next, I just really want to acknowledge the civic engagement that occurs. Oftentimes we get emails, we get letters, and it's been amazing. So honestly, I just want to recognize that. And last but not least, I don't know if you saw the Sunday paper about Pet Helpers Helps Critters while the county and animal shelter unfortunately fight. So I'm glad that Carol Linville is here, and I want to recognize the efforts that Pet Helpers are stepping in. And we have a discretionary fund, so I would like to allocate $300 of my discretionary fund to help Pet Helpers out. But I'm also asking the citizens and my colleagues to think about donating and helping those efforts.
Thank you very much. It's been quite a challenge, and this has been ongoing for the last several months. It's just hit the height of it right now. We're inundated with animals, and we need fosters desperately. We've had over 45 come in through the door the last 3 weeks, and anyone that's been to Pet Helpers knows we were full before 40, and they're mostly dogs. So it's pretty rough. Meeting with the county tomorrow, maybe we'll come up, we need both of us in this community though. The Animal Society, I'm hoping they will find a path, because we can't pick up the whole county, and the county wants us to take over the whole animal control contract. That's not possible. We have enough with Folly and James Island. So thank you.
Thank you.
I would second what Catherine said about community involvement. It's just great to have so many people involved and that really care about the community. So thank you for that. Just happy holidays and everybody be safe.
That's why I hate going last, because I'm gonna say the same thing that y'all just said. And efforts to keep it being nice tonight. Happy holidays. Take care. Yeah, thanks. Have a good one.
All right.
Motion to
So,
move executive session?
I have one PS. I just want to thank you guys for saving the palm trees. That's one less thing for me to worry about. And lastly, I don't know if you all know, I did save a 200-year-old palm tree back in 2000. It's sitting behind the community center. It was going to be chopped downtown, taken down downtown. It's 200 years old. Now it would be 224 years old. This was back in 2000. And there's a plaque over by...
oh, that's the one we cut down the building.
No, you didn't. But I got that tree saved and moved down to Folly Beach,
200 years
and
old.
we need to give it a little more attention now that you know we do have a 224-year-old palm tree down there by the bridge. So thank you.
Motion for executive session.
Yeah, we need to move to. And I will say before we leave the executive session, we'll, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, whatever it is you celebrate. Just be careful. Don't drink and drive. Most places, if you're drinking and you've had one or one too many, they can get you an Uber or they can get you a ride.
Too easy nowadays.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Carol, hang on one second.
That bus was full out.
Got a lot of grease.
Crazy lady.
How you doing, Peter?
You're gonna be doing one of these next